There's all kinds of ways to protect fashion designs. So one thing that we can do is you can actually file a design patent application on the ornamental features of any object, really. And if you think about it, most fashion items are objects. And as long as they're distinctive and unique, then yes, it is possible to obtain design patent protection on your design. So why don't we look around and see what sort of design patents that we can find on the for various fashion items. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to uspto.gov and click on patents. And we're going to want to get to the search section. So patent search. And then I like to do advanced searches. So you can do the advanced search right here. And all you do to find design patents is use the code APT/4. This is the code here. So it'd be purse, open friends, or bag. So let's see what we find. Let's see what comes up. I imagine we're going to get a lot of hits. Yeah, we have over 5,000 hits. And there's all kinds of bags. Now, the question is, so some of these may not be actual fashion related. So for example, I saw a pet bag earlier. This obviously is okay. This is definitely a fashion bag. So again, this is they're actually obtaining a patent on the look and feel of the look of the bag itself. So pretty cool stuff. Really powerful way to protect fashion items. Take a look at this. Now, again, as I said in past videos, in order to obtain a design patent, you have to show all the views of the object. So front, the side, perspective, or also called isometric, plan views, top, bottom. All the views have to be shown. And what we talked about yesterday is that in some of these design patents that we look at today, we're gonna notice that you actually will see broken lines in some of the design patents. They're not trying to claim the broken lines as part of their design, so they're not claiming that. So in this case, like if, for example, they could have drawn an outline of a user and dashed lines holding the bag, right? So they're not claiming a person, but they're claiming the bag. Let me show you guys some other stuff. Let's see what else we find. So, okay, clutch bag. Now, what's cool, obviously, is that not only are these designs, but you can also see who owns them, who filed them. This one isn't very instructive. This one looks like it was actually a solo individual, as far as I can see. Whoa, this is interesting. This is a clutch. Okay. You can see this is very unique. All right. So yeah, again, so we're looking at design patents here on bags and purses. So, see, here's a bag for food packing, right? So this isn't going to be fashion related, or it might be, but more than likely, probably not. Yeah. So, I mean, this is incredible. I mean, you can even file design patents on packaging. It's incredible what people will file design patents on. So just one of the cool things about intellectual property is that it's all about creativity. And some would argue that even the law in general, but intellectual property in particular is just all about creativity and thinking about what hasn't been done before and what the law permits you to do. I think there was a pet one here. Let's see if we can find some other cool fashion related ones. See what we find here. Okay, so this looks like a suitcase. Yeah, so here's a suitcase. Here's your broken lines. Now, again, what's interesting about this design patent is that it's actually only protecting the front pouch, the front part of the case, so not the visual aspects of the sides or top, right? Or the back even. It's interesting though that they show the broken lines. So this figure only has broken lines. But this is the front of the bag in its setting, how it would actually be put on the market. And so you could see why they would have all these figures and why they would show these broken lines. Let's see if we can find those related to, so if we add the code ACN and then a country, let's see if we can find like fashion, like common places where fashion houses are. I believe you have to use country code. Cool. And so some of these might more likely be fashion related, just because there's a lot of fashion houses in France. YSL right here. So no surprise. Cool. Let's check out what other French fashion items we can find. Okay, here we go. Let's see. Oh, Hermès. All right. Here's your Hermès bag. Oh, wait. It's not an Hermès bag. I have to be careful. It's Hermès Cellier. Cool bags can we find? Oh, more Hermès Cellier. Wow. So it's interesting because it looks like their applications, they're brazen. They just submit. Looks like there's just images. One thing I'll say, just as a patented, as in if you use a similar design, you can get sued. Yes, actually, if it looks similar enough, it would be possible for you to get a cease and desist letter or just get sued. Definitely. So that's something to think about, especially if you're putting out bags, purses, and or just products in general in the market. Now, not only are there design patents, there's also utility patents. So that's definitely something to think about. But yes, design patents. If someone puts a bag that looks just like this one, they could subject themselves to liability of patent infringement. So something to keep in mind. And notice, so the term of this patent is 14 years. More recently, it's been 15. They changed they added a year recently. But notice it was filed. It was issued here June 9th, 2015. So this is active. So this patent will be active for quite a while. So definitely you have to keep that in mind. That yes, you could be subject to civil liability if you put a bag that looks similar to a bag that already has a design patent on it. So definitely something to keep in mind. And a lot of the big fashion houses that do have bags out there, like this YSL, which I can't pronounce, but Victoria can. You bet they're going to have design patents on a lot of their stuff. So it's definitely something to keep, especially if you think about knockoffs and how a lot of people put knockoffs out there. Oh, it'll be difficult, I think. I mean, who knows what the most original design? Yeah, right, exactly. It's true, and there's not only that there's a lot of variations, right? So if you make a slight variation on a bag that already exists, right, is that different, right? Arguably, it could be. But one thing that you have to keep in mind is that it's actually very expensive to establish that or prove that. So that's something to keep in mind. Possibly. Yeah, that's the thing. Even if you independently come up with it. So yeah, so this is a great question. If you independently come up with a design, but someone already has a design patent on it, unfortunately, it doesn't matter. So even if you even if you put it on the market, you could still be sued, even if you came up with it, because if they have a design patent, you're still subject to that liability. So it's definitely something to think about and keep in mind. Just the fact that you came up with it by yourself doesn't necessarily mean that you wouldn't be liable. Great question. Tote bag. Let's see who made this tote bag. Is this a company? Let's see. One thing I'll note, I hope you guys can see, but basically, let me see if I can zoom in. Basically, some of these actually will provide the link to the actual location where you can actually purchase the bag, so you can see how it actually looks like and exists out on the market. So it's kind of interesting. Let's look at the full pages of this guy. One thing to note is that oftentimes, in our experience, it can be risky to submit just color images. Ordinarily, as you saw, a lot of these are line drawings, and that's because the regs actually require you to submit line drawings. So something to keep in mind. See what else we can find. Duffel tote bag. Let's see what this purse is about. Oh, Louis Vuitton. There we go. Notice though, again, we're seeing more and more images. Very, very unusual. Oftentimes these will get rejected. So it's something to keep in mind. It's worth paying a draftsman to draft up line drawings. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, Christian Dior. So interesting. There was only one that we could find just based on the search that we did now. Vera 23. Is this the one you're looking at? Is this the one you're thinking of? Interesting. Yeah, yeah. I tend to agree though with Vera in that I would have expected there'd be a lot more Dior bags. That's a really good question. So as we've seen in today's show, yes, sometimes they do accept them. However, highly discourage you from submitting photographs because they could get rejected. The regulations actually require you to submit line drawings and with black ink actually. And so to submit actual line drawings. So any draftsman that does patent drafting can prepare these drawings for you. So you can get professional drawings prepped for not relatively too much money. But you'll know that if you do this, that the drawings, the black and white line drawings will be accepted, right? Because they're professionals and they know how to prepare the drawings in such a way that the patent office will not reject them. But that being said, as we've seen in today's episode, we saw what, maybe 6 or 7 at least Victoria patents that were just flat out pictures and images. So it's something to keep in mind. It is possible. And as you'll see registered patents that have images and not drawings. But you're risking getting a rejection and having to possibly lose even a filing date. So it's better just to do what are called formal drawings. So whenever you hear someone say formal drawings in the patent context, they mean black and white line drawings that satisfy the regulations. Now, difference between utility and design patents. So the design patent just protects the ornamental features of a structure, of a device or object. In this case, we were looking at the ornamental features that people claimed for bag and purse designs. Now, utility patent protects the structure, the function of something. It also protects perhaps the structure, the method of making something. Oh, Vera has another good question. Flat drawing. So what I meant by formal drawings, if you take a look again, look at just this Dior bag. So you see how they're just lines? They're black and white line. They're black lines. So this is called a line drawing. And formal drawings require you to show every view, right? So this is the perspective view, side view, front view, and there should even be a bottom view. See, here it is. Actually, this is the top view probably, and this is probably the top view when it's open, and this is the bottom view. So all the required drawings. That's what's meant by formal drawing. Really good question, Vera. So just to recap on Invasion's question, though, it's going to be basically what you have to remember is utility patents protect the structure and function of something, how to make something, a process, as long as it's new and novel and basically hasn't been done before and is non-obvious, then it's possible to patent utility patent on your invention. Design patent protects the ornamental features of something, so how it looks. So if it's a very unique, distinctive, and unusual design, then it's possible to get a design patent on it. Utility patents last longer than design patents. Generally, they have stronger protection. However, design patents tend to be easier to get allowed and get through the patent office. I hope that answers your question, Invasion. Check it out. So they only have one bag design patent. Isn't that crazy? I would have thought they would have a lot more. Yeah, I mean, that chain is pretty distinctive with the leather on top. Wow, they have a lot of drawings in this patent. 21 drawings, 21 figures. Anyways, thank you so much for watching today's episode. We're going to be just showing you guys a lot more cool design patents out there, trade dress, utility patents. Again, thank you so much for watching.